Okay, so in SDLC model, we also have a model called as Big Bang. Okay, so are you people aware of what is Big Bang actually about? What is a Big Bang? You would have in our school days we would have gone through what is a Big Bang, right? Anybody is having idea on what it is? No one. Okay, so it is like
In physics, it's a big hole, black hole.
sorry, sorry. Someone said something.
Big Bang in physics, it's a big black hole in galaxy.
Yeah, they'll say it is the way how the universe was created. Okay, every planets and stars and how it was created. So they said that there was a black hole and it just blasted and we had all the planets and all the galaxies. Everything got created from the big bang of that black hole, right? So it is the same way here also. See, in case we have a client, that fellow is not having a clear picture on how the requirement will be improvised in the future, or how it will be in how the application will be in the future, right? So at that time, what will happen is he will have a requirement and he will say I want it to be completed within a small scale or something. So what at that time what will happen is we'll not have any processes, or we'll not have any what is it, proper documentation or anything. We'll just put in our what to say programming, our efforts, our resources, everything we'll put in, and the funds also we'll put in, and we'll work together and give him the product. There is no process at all like any other model. Okay, this bang model is ruled out for very large softwares and all. Okay, we can't work on very large softwares using the Big Bang model. Okay, so what happens is like it is not, as I said, it is not suitable for larger software. Say there is a very small scale industry who is just starting a small project with a small project, or we are self we want to self learn on how we start a project, how we develop it and test it. So for that purpose alone, they'll be using Big Bang model. Okay, it is good one for just learning and experimenting. It will not be suitable for large projects. So it, as I said, no process, no documentation, nothing. So it is the simplest models of all the SDLC model. Okay, and it requires lots of programming and fun. Right, we don't have any process, so obviously no documentation. Imagine we need lot of programming knowledge, lot of resources, and for each resource also we need to fund, right? So it will be requiring lots of programming and funds for that. So as I said, big process is not required, but a very, at least a small initial, when we need to do testing, when we need to do development. So that kind of small planning is enough for doing a Big Bang model. Okay, so as I said you again, users used when clients are not sure about the future requirements. They'll not be very much clear on what is going to happen in the future about the requirement. So in that case also it will be used. Okay, so this is about Big Bang model. It is like not majorly used anywhere. I have not come across Big Bang model anywhere. So you just need to know what it is. That's enough. Okay, and going to the next. So as I said, so we have a Big Bang. So the input for the Big Bang will be time, effort, fund, and resource. They'll just put in the time, effort, fund, and resource, and they will combine everything together and work, and they will deliver a software. Okay, so that is about Big Bang. Any questions?
How much day it may take to cover that sprint, ma'am?
No, we don't have any sprint and all in it. That's what I said, right? No sprint and all. Very small projects. Take in case I want to develop a small application for a school, not a very huge application, but a very small feature of a small application which is going to just have the attendance record of the student. It's not going to have much integration and all, right? So they'll say I want it in a month. That much only. At that time, you know, don't need any planning. You don't need any feasibility study. You don't need any, what to say, what risks I will come across. You need not do any risk analysis. Nothing is required. Just you need some time, you need some resource, and you have to create the project and give them, right? So in that type of what to say, projects only it will be done. That's what I said. Just a experimental model only. If you remember, in your college or school days, if they would have asked you to do some project and give it in next week, I want your project to be seen, so you'll just spend your time, your effort, and you'll just for doing the project, you might what spend some fund also, right? So that is what a big bang model is. No planning, no documentation, nothing. No sprint or no workflow, nothing will be there. You just get the project requirement, you create it and give it. Okay.
Ma'am, that what we were doing under the prototype model also.
No,
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 ma'am.
no. Prototype is totally different, right? So prototype, what you will be doing is, wait. So in prototype model, actually you'll be having a prototype designing phase. Okay. Here you will keep creating a model of the project. Okay. If you imagine you want a complete application for a school. Okay. From enrolling the student to tracking the record to have a track of their attendance, what education, their scorings, everything, right? So what they will do is they'll create images of that application, how it will look. Prototype is nothing but a model. Okay. So that model will be given to the client, we'll validate them, and this will be here, it will be an iterative process. But here in this, we do not have any process at all. Here we do have a process, right? After prototype is approved by the client, we'll go for the designing, we'll go for the coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance. But here we'll not be having a process flow at all.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay, fine. Now we'll go to today's topic. Okay. So today, actually, you just need to know what these are. Okay. Because you people are going to be a part of functional testing, black box testing. So you will not be like much involved in these areas, but from a, what to say, from a interview perspective, and you be having a very basic knowledge on what the white box testing is and what are the techniques of the white box testing. Okay, so today's agenda would be like we'll be looking into white box testing, how it will be performed, and what techniques they are using. So there are multiple techniques like statement coverage, control flow, cyclomatic, branch, and path. Okay, we'll go one by one. This is going to be quite technical. If you don't understand, you can just ask me. Okay. And don't worry much, because like as I said, you will not be directly involved in this. Okay. There are set of people who are just involved in white box testing. I have already said you, they are developers. Okay. So as we have discussed already, software internal structure, code, and design only will be tested in a white box testing. Nothing related to the functionality, right? And it will be done by developers. So developers also create test cases. Okay, our test cases will be focused on functionality, right? But the developers test case, how it will be is they'll be having a set of code. Okay, to execute that set of code, they will be having what will happen if I give the value as a, what will happen if I give the value as b. So this is called test case in the terms of white box testing. So do not get confused. if I tell test case is created by them, it will not look like our functional test case. Okay, this is totally different. So test cases here also will be created, and to check the quality of the code. We write test cases to check the quality of the application, right? But here in white box testing, they will do it to check the quality of the code. And this is also known as glass box, open box, or clear box. So anything, if they ask, do you know what is a glass box or open box or clear box in your interviews, you should directly say it, the concepts about white box testing. Okay, so now how these test cases are verified, how it is developed by them. So how what these test cases will verify in their code is, it will go one by line code verification also they will do. And there, you know, right, in a code you will be having multiple conditions, right? So it is not like a b c and all. It will not just work a plus b equal to c and all. Say take an example of your Swiggy application or Netflix subscription. Okay, so in the code they'll be having, if a user is going to log in, there will be a condition asking, is this if this user, logged in user, is going to be a annual subscriber, he should be able to view it for a month. For that they'll be having a separate decision making code, right? In this way there will be multiple conditions in their code, so those conditions also needs to be verified. So that will be done in white box testing. And next is broken paths. Broken paths is, right, I go in a flow, immediately I jump out of that loop and I go to some other, I start handling some other condition. Okay, that should not happen. So what should happen, if the person is having an annual subscription, he should be able to view the movies for a year. That condition should be satisfied completely. Okay, so those kind of broken parts are also verified in the white box testing. And security holes, so in the code itself they can check on how, what are all the possibilities the security of the code will be broken, or some other person can hack the application or hack the data from the application. So all these things also will be handled in the white box testing. Okay, so any questions here? Okay, fine. So going to the next slide. So we have white box testing levels. You would have remembered in our functional testing, we had unit testing, integration testing, and regression testing, right? So in that, unit testing was done at the functional level. But here, these people will do unit testing at the code level. Okay, they'll see if their codes are error free. But what we will see, we will see if the functionality is defect free. Okay, that is the difference. And integration testing, so obviously these people, they will integrate their codes. There will be multiple person working, or a single person itself will work on multiple module coding, right? They will integrate that codes, and they will try out if the what required output is coming from the code. They will test that also. Not related to functionality. Do not confuse again. This will not be related to functionality. It will be just at the code level. Okay. Regression testing is, our regression testing will be like, whenever we get a new release or a new, what to say, what is it, build, we will be testing the complete application for any new bugs, and we'll also ensure if the older bugs are fixed, right? But here, what they will do is, they will do both unit and integration, they will do, and they will provide us the application for our functional testing. Okay, so any questions or confusions here in white box testing levels? Don't get confused, you just remember the terms. These are very basic things for your just for your knowledge and for your interview, nothing else. Okay, any questions here? Okay, so
No,
now,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now we'll see, we know how we perform functional testing, right? I have said you, like, we have several test case designing techniques. If you remember my older classes, we had equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, and state transition. We had multiple, right? In the same way, even for writing the test cases of the developers, that is for white box, people have multiple ways. Okay, so what they do initially is they will identify which code needs to be tested. Okay, and the source code also they need to understand it. So a proper developer can only perform the white box testing. A person without any knowledge of coding can never perform white box testing or write test case for that. Okay, and after understanding, they will create the test case and execute it. Okay, so they have multiple designing techniques. So those are statement coverage, data flow testing, control flow testing, cyclomatic complexity, branch coverage, and path coverage. 1 minute. Sorry. So now we'll see one by one what it is. Okay. So now statement coverage. Okay. So statement coverage is nothing but you have a piece of code and you have multiple lines in code, right? You'll be having around 1,000 lines in a one single module code. You'll be having more than 1,000 lines, right? So they will write test cases. How they will decide is they will ensure that each line of code is tested. Tested means is validated. So covers most of the source code. The source code only they will do it. They can validate how much of application source code is executed. So with that test case input, right? So they'll so in case they are having a code, okay, and they give a input that is called test case. While they execute the test case, that is the code, out of 10 line of code, only 8 gets executed based on the conditions. So that 8 code will be falling under your statement coverage. Okay, so it can validate how much of application source code is executed. So with that they will decide how much percentage of my code is tested from my end, how much percentage of code I have executed and tested. To ensure that, they will do a statement coverage testing. Okay, so in this the coverage, they have a formula, that is number of executed statements and total statements divided by total statement into 100 will give the coverage percentage. For you to understand it more clearly, see, I have a code. Okay, so print class 6 p.m. I'm just mocking it. Okay, don't get confused if this is okay. I'm printing something, and then I have a code saying if time is greater than 7, class closes, and then else if time is between 5 to 6, class should not start, and if time is between 6 to 7, class should go on. Okay, so here if you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code. Okay, 8 statements I have. Right now what I give an input is, here I give input of time as imagine I give 5:30. Okay, this is going to be my input. Okay, now I give 5:30. So at that time, which loop will get executed? So this one will get printed. Okay, then it will go to this, then it will go to this, then here. So here it will come and it will say, yes, this falls between this. So it will execute this and it will stop. Okay, imagine I put a stop here. For everything, I put a stop here. So here now I have 8, 9, 10, 11 lines of code. Now if I give 530 as input, 1, 2, 3, it will not stop, right? So it will come to the else. 4, 5, now it will execute the 6 and it will stop 7. So how many statements I have executed? It is 7. So now your percentage will be, if you look into this calculation, number of executed statement is, sorry, something I done. 7, right? 7 by 11 into 100 would be your percentage. Okay, percentage of execution. That is how much got executed by total into 100. Now you got it, right? I still have a example here also for you people. See, I have A and B. Why it is writing? What is happening? Oh, I got this now. Let it be. Okay, now here if you see, you have a, what to say, Damodaran, I think you're doing something, right? Did you get access to do something?
There is a pin, ballpoint pin option there, ma'am, in our screen.
Yeah, but I didn't use it.
I think he mistakenly done.
Okay, okay, fine. How to make it go away? One second. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see this also?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Only he can erase the phone.
Oh, okay. Damodaran, can you do that? So all of you are able to do access it, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think he needs to erase it. Okay. So now here, if you see, you have A and B, and you have a sum of A plus B. If sum is greater than 0, result is greater than 0, else print result is less than 0. Okay, so here also you can apply the same thing based on your input. Okay, suppose if I give A as 10, how many statements will get covered here? So it will come into this 1, 2, 3. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 is covered for me, right? So my statement coverage would be 3 by 5 into 100. That much percentage of testing of my coding I have done. So are you people clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So now the next method is data flow testing. Okay. So in data flow testing, what we do is just we will check what they will do is just they will ensure how the data flows across their code. Okay. This is nothing, this is also nothing related to your functionality. So in this example itself, if they give the value of A as 10 and B as 20, they will check how this data of how this data A goes from one statement to other statement, how it flows across their codes that they will be covering in the test case. Okay. So focuses on the order of data flow in a code. So here, so A should first come here, right? Then you this sum you will be validating here, right? So this is the flow. Imagine you have a sum outside this loop. So before executing this, this should not come up, right? So this is how the data flow testing will be done. Gathers the data and checks how variable helps in flow of the data. So here this A, sum, B, these are called as variables. Okay. So when you learn your automation, you will come to know everything. So the variable, how this variable with different values flows across your code is called as data flow again. Sequence of variables is checked to ensure data flow. As I said, the sum should be first, it should be validated here, and then only it should get validated here, right? It should not immediately come and validate here. So in my example, so here, if I say time, this time first, this if condition is the first flow for this time variable, right? Then only it should go to this. It should not from my data entry, it should not immediately come over here. So to ensure those kind of things, they do data flow testing. Okay, now it's clear. Is it clear what is data flow testing? So as I said, checks on variable definition and variable usage, how it is defined and how it is used, they will ensure that also. Okay, fine. So coming to the next, we'll go to control flow testing. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll stop this and I'll share a new link, because in control flow, I have some graphs to show you. I don't know, like this might confuse you. Okay, I'll share a new link immediately.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.